Yes, guys, welcome to this episode of Rio Presents Plenty Discussed with Joel and Ste today. Those two were humbled by Jack Grealish's performance for Everton, 2 assists, so we get right into that. Also, I talk about how I would work with Man United's goalkeeper to improve on set pieces, and Joel brings up the comparison between Paul Scholes and Kobbie Mainoo after he's not played a single minute this season, which led to quite an interesting chat. And also, I give my thoughts on the psychology of the Man United side and the way they approach the Fulham game and a Fulham team compared to an Arsenal team. Also discussing the mental strength shown by a young kid to get to the top, to get playing in the first team at 15 years old, still at school, Mr. Max Dowman. Oh, listen, Steve broke down in his car, an old banger, outside, yep, you guessed it, the Etihad. So let's get stuck in. Listen, I'm just looking at the screen here. Where the hell are you, Steve? Is that the Etihad? What are you doing there? What are you doing there?
I broke down.
Oh my gosh. Right, listen, before we get into why you're there and what you're doing there, we have got, anyone listening, anyone watching, we have got a mad giveaway to give on our Insta broadcast channel. Brian and Bruno gave us his first interview at Manchester United exclusively. After signing, and he gave us a shirt, and he signed the shirt while we were there. So for one lucky person, you got to enter this competition. To enter the competition, by the way, you got to find the broadcast channel. Yeah, so it's next to the link tree on at Rio Ferdinand Presents. Go and join it. Then scroll up to the top and like the photo of me and Brian and Bumo where he's signing the shirt that you could potentially win. And we'll announce the winner on Wednesday and tell that lucky person how to collect their prize. So make sure you join it.
Rio, I ain't joined it yet, you know.
What?
All I got to do is press join, right?
Just join the chat. How can you not be in the chat and you're part of it?
Sorry. My bad.
Jesus.
I'm joining now.
We need a voice note from yourself and Steve when you both join.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it later on because I can't do it now, but I'm definitely going to drop... Wait, hang on a minute. I'll drop something that says top of the league soon, yeah?
I'll drop Not getting carried away again, I see.
No, just talking facts, mate. That's all we're doing today. Speaking about socials, Rio, have you seen our guy Djed Spence on socials, bro? After Tottenham beating City. Listen, his captions, the memes he adds to the videos, out of this one, bodies. I loved it, bruv. Like, he doesn't care, does he, Rio?
No, Djed Spence, I mean, he came on. The fact he came onto the podcast with a pair of blacked out shades in the studio had everybody going like, whoa, what's going on here? But that told me one thing. This guy don't care about no one. Mm-hmm. He's confident and he's backing himself. Mm-hmm. And the way he started this season, in pre-season, who did he lock down in pre-season or played the best I've seen play against him? Kvaratskhelia, the PSG winger. Mm-hmm. Locked him down. I don't even know if I said that right, but I locked him down, right? Best I've seen him played against. Comes into this season and says, goes to Man City and says, bring your best winger. Right? Bring me your favourite winger. I'll deal with him, basically. That's what he's saying. And for a defender, this is what I think about. If I had social media in my pomp, I think I would have been like this guy. Because this is... He's now in wingers' heads. Every winger that's going to go up against him now, I reckon they're going to be going, I've seen the tweets, I've seen the confidence. He's quick, he's aggressive, 1v1 backs himself. I might have to go and play inside.
Bad man. It hurts me liking his posts, but he's a cool guy, man. He's a friend of the show, so all day long.
Love, shout out Djed Spence.
Yeah, man. But I want to jump in because last week I asked if Manchester United only performed well because it was Arsenal. We all know there's the rivalry, there's the encouragement, the excitement you have when you play against Arsenal. You play against Fulham, and the energies ain't the same anymore. Rio, Ste, how did you feel about that? We'll start off with you, Ste.
It's not because it was Arsenal. Although I do think there was aspects of the performance where we maybe didn't quite respect Fulham as much as we should have done. And me and Rio spoke about this last night. How open we weren't quite as open against you.
Sorry, my missus just come for a cup of coffee. Thank you. He's a bit
okay.
Late. Say hello then.
Okay.
Say hello.
You okay?
Right, doing great, thank you. Come on,
we're here in Dubai, guys. We're here in Dubai.
So I think there was aspects of the performance which were because it was Arsenal, but I don't think we played well just because it was Arsenal. I think why we played poorly yesterday had nothing to do with that. I think Fulham figured us out. Let's give them a little bit of credit. But what does worry me is that we've conceded twice from set plays. And even though I personally feel like we're quite easy to play against and quite open, we're not conceding goals like that. We're conceding goals that should be a lot more preventable. It's like cock-ups in set plays, which is trainable, right?
The comments of... We discussed it yesterday. Iwobi talking about getting in the 10 positions behind our midfields. Marco Silva talking similarly as well. It seems like that we've spoken to even players that go, listen, we know how to play against Man United. We know what they're coming with. We know how to play against them. And that's what it seemed like yesterday. And I don't like seeing teams have that confidence when they come at us like that and talking about, we know how to Man United are going to play. We know how to combat what they do. We just got to execute it, and we'll get a result, or we'll get results out of it. And that's the way it seems when I'm hearing the words and the interviews after a game from opposing teams and players.
Is there a technical difference between playing Fulham and facing Arsenal that makes it more difficult for Amorim Sarr to compete?
I don't think it's technical so much. The only thing you're playing against better players, all due respect to Fulham. Fulham have got good players, but there's more better players in the Arsenal team, which is a fact, right? So when you give up chances in those games, or a slight lapse in concentration, or you go away from your tactics and your structure, you will get punished more often than not in the games against the bigger teams, right? Mm-hmm. But I think as big, if not bigger, I would actually argue is bigger, is the way that you go into a game psychologically will almost certainly, I think 9 times out of 10, determine the result of your game, or determining definitely how you start a game. You have to be so switched on. I found it, and this is what I think where Man United are at the moment, it's easier to get up for the bigger games because them games demand more. There's more eyeballs, there's more talk. It focuses you straight away. You know the quality you're playing against is super high. I'm not going to be embarrassed by no one. I'm laser focused. I think that drops, and the best team managed to keep that laser focusedness throughout the whole season against everybody, all right? And approach everybody equally. The teams that drop off and don't, they're the ones who become inconsistent, and then you see the results are inconsistent, and they start flitting up and down the league, and they don't challenge for anything. That's where Man United are now. So they go to Fulham. They know it's going to be a hard game, but individually, there'll be players that are approaching that game aren't doing the same things as intensely and as focused during the warm-up, during the pre-match journey to the ground. The night before, maybe staying up half an hour a bit later than they would normally. Might have that little dessert that they wouldn't normally have. Might not eat as much. The carbohydrates and the protein might be a bit different compared to what it is. All these little factors play a part psychologically when you go into the game, and then there's a drop-off. And then the hardest thing to do is if you've dropped off psychologically going into a game, the hardest thing to do is to then get into that game and go, we're under a bit here. Let's turn it up. Turn the engine on. Can't do it. Don't care who you are. You may be a select few in the world can do that, but it ain't going to happen and work every time. So the way you go into a game psychologically, I'm telling you, determines a lot. And I don't think that we're capable right now of doing that, because the results are suggesting that a part to play in that is that.
But we started well yesterday. You were talking about you getting into games and starting well. I thought we started really well yesterday. Obviously, it didn't end up that way. And I don't know how much of that is Fulham figured us out. I don't know how much of that is we didn't have the confidence to continue doing the same things. I know that's Amorim sort of put it down to that a little bit.
You can start well or you can start badly. It's all about, if you're not prepared right psychologically, you're not prepared for situations that will arise in a game. So you've had a good 5-10 minutes and then it starts going the other way and the momentum changes. You're not prepared psychologically to be able to react to that because you've took your foot off the pedal a bit. This is going to be a little bit easier. This is going to be a bit more chill. Well, actually, you're going to have to roll your sleeves up in this game and you have to find a way to get round this team without just relying on one individual moment of brilliance. And you're going to have to be together as a unit and do that. And if one or two are out of sync, collectively you fall down. And that's where we are at the moment.
Rio, I must say, Bruno Fernandes with the penalty. Yes, it's one thing that he missed it. anyone can miss a penalty. But it's the fact that he was rattled by the referee beforehand, and then he came out post-match, again, blaming the referee. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he said he was... Yeah, I just think, listen, it can affect you with the referee walking in and bouncing you and just interrupting your routine. Now, a lot of players have routines, but like a boxer, if your ring walk is disturbed at any point, you got to get yourself back on the road, on the show, and you go, listen, this is it. Back in the groove, do it. Concentration and laser focused, and get it done. You can't allow for something like that to disturb you and not get it right. And I just hope he's not blaming that as to why he missed.
Why do you think we're conceding on set plays the way we are?
We look shaky. The goalkeeper doesn't fill me with massive confidence from set pieces. I've got to be honest here, he made a great save in the game from the young kid King when he came out of his feet. Done really well there. But from set pieces, even outside of the goal, he's coming for things that are a bit 50-50, not sure. The whole back line don't look good in that area. Not just the keeper, to be honest, yeah.
Rio, his Amarim's comments regarding Kobbie Mainoo. If Kobbie Mainoo plays, he has to dislodge the captain in order for him to get picked. Now, that doesn't strike me with a lot of confidence. If you're looking at the stats, I've got him here, started 15 of 44 matches under Amarim. Is he setting him up to fail?
Wait, he was injured for a lot of those, Joel. That's not fair.
Yeah, I agree.
You say that?
There is a caveat to that of the injuries, but I would say if that is like, right, you've got to dislodge the captain, well, he's fighting a losing battle, isn't he? Because Bruno Fernandes has been the talisman for this team for the last 3 or 4 years. How is he going to displace someone like him in that position? It's going to be near on impossible. He's the guy they look to for when they want a goal, when they want a moment, when they want a chance. But the way I read into his comments were that, listen, he may not be playing now, but it's a long season. There's a lot of games to go, and he's going to get some time, and then he's going to have to go and prove to me that he has to stay in the team. That's the way it seems. And I think we need to listen to somebody like Michael Carrick, who we had an interview with him a little while ago, plays the same position, and said, listen, not all youngsters, and most youngsters in the early part of their career have a spell where they come out of the team. And they've got to find their way back in. And they've got to find their way back into form and to fulfill the manager with confidence and build back that confidence. It's not out of this world and just like crazy that a young player isn't playing at some point in their career.
Rio, I disagree with the both of you because first of all, yes, he was injured for the majority of the time, Steve. But at the end of the day, you've also had Mason Mount injured, but it doesn't mean when Amarim likes a player, he likes a player and he'll say it. Kobbie Mainoo has been a ghost, man, throughout his period. We've got the likes of Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes saying he's the nearest thing I've seen to Zidane in taking the ball, receiving the ball, cruising past people. I've read a few comparisons between me and him and this kid. Don't waste your time. He is 10 times the player I was at 19. If I'm Kobbie Mainoo, bro, and you're not playing me, and obviously the fans are still cheering for Amarim to stay, I could be looking at another club at the end of the season. Right?
I got to be honest, I don't know, Scholes' comments about Zidane, I think were a bit wild, if I'm honest.
You compared him to Seedorf.
I think he's more of a Seedorf player. That's what I think. I think his style of football is more Seedorf. But Scholes is saying he's a 10 times the player that he was. And I think you've got to remember that telling number there, at 19. At 19. That's what he's saying. Scholes wasn't developed yet. Still a fantastic potential. But Scholes had asthma. He couldn't finish games properly at a young age and stuff. He wasn't nowhere near the player that he became. At 19, he was playing. This kid's playing in European championships. He was playing in. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's a kid who was there and you're going, oh, he's just in the youth team, just got out of the youth team in the 21s. He was playing for England, starting for England. Scholes in 19 wasn't doing that. So that's where he's talking about the comparison. But listen, I'm same as Steve. I'm a massive fan of Kobbie, but he has to work out, what do I need to do to get back in his team? And we've all had these moments in our careers where, shit, man, I ain't playing. What do I do? Well, the first thing you do is go to the manager and go, what ain't I doing that I need to be doing to get in this team? Right, he's going to tell me. Then I go to work on a training pitch every day. I go to work. I play up against whoever, Bruno, etc., and I start dominating them. That's the type of mentality and mindset he has to go with. And then when the chance comes to play, take it with both hands. Now, his argument right now will be, I'm not getting the chance to take it. And that's a fair argument. But what I would say is do not let the chance come and you're not ready. So train hard. Be focused.
I agree, Rio. But I also think he is going to be someone suffering because of this system that Amorim plays and he refuses to change it. You know, like, you've got the talent there, man. No one can tell me that Kobbie Mainoo cannot play football. No one cannot tell. The boy is brilliant. One of the best talents I've ever seen. And you're telling me, for whatever reason, he couldn't get minutes yesterday. Couldn't even come off.
He ain't had a minute this season.
Yeah, but, this but then on top of that, right, you're supposed to go win the game and you bring on your centre-backs. What's this Maguire business coming on to try to save the game all the time? What's going on?
He's been doing that ever since he's been here. He brings two centre-backs on late on. It's crazy. But
it's not good enough. You should be past that now. You've gone out there to go get certain players to win games and you're still reverting to those kind of tactics. Come on, bruv. Like, I don't have to be a Manchester United fan to turn around and see that that's wrong. And for someone who, if I take off my Arsenal hat and I'm talking about enjoying football in general, that stinks, bruv. Absolutely stinks.
I love how critical that you are about tactics and stuff when you're basically Stoke from London.
Yeah, set piece merchants.
Steve, it doesn't matter what you say. When I have my tactical criticisms, I keep them away from you because I don't want you to use them as weapons against me. But what I'm saying is I'm being honest right about now, and I'm sure the people in the chat and the audience will agree. Your tactic to win a game shouldn't be to bring on, Maguire. Who else did he bring on? It was Maguire and...
Nevin. You're right in a way, and I don't say that often, so cherish that. But the fact that he always brings on a centre-half or two every game baffles me. Especially when you had not just Kobbie Mainoo didn't come on, Joshua Zirkzee on there as well, and I think I like Joshua Zirkzee. I like what he offers, and me and Rio spoke about this last night. When he's got runners, he's a really intelligent footballer, and I think he finds people. Now it might have paid off because Harry Maguire gets his head on it and he goes a foot wide of the post with his first touch of the ball. It looks a genius if that's gone in. But it is weird that he's bringing on centre-halves late in the game. I mean, I don't know. Me and Rio came away from that last night, and the one thing I came away saying was, I have more questions. Every game that goes by, it doesn't answer my questions, it gives me more questions. Every week I got more questions.
I don't know. Last week there weren't questions. Last week there was more hope. There was more, you were sitting there going, there's more optimism. This week has created more questions and going, all right, okay, where's the growth? We saw probably an 8-minute spell in the first 8 minutes of the game where you went, I was sitting there going, yes, this is it. We look aggressive. The intensity is good there. We're pressing from the front, winning things and getting chances and shots off. And then after that, it fizzled out. And I was like, this feels like the way we played yesterday after that goal was a bit like last season in some respects. And that was a disappointing thing. But what I said last night on the live that we've done with Steve is this team, this manager and his staff, I think you play the first 8 minutes, first 10 minutes, whatever it is, first 15 positive minutes of this game and say, this is us. This is what I want to see for 45, 60, 75 minutes. Now, I know I know games ebb and flow and it changes and momentum changes, but when we need to have more good spells and positive spells like this and show them the template. That first 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it was, right, was as good as I've seen us consistently winning the ball and turning over possession and putting the team under pressure and putting a foot on someone's neck. But we didn't score. That's the killer. You got to score then.
Is this what Manchester United's reduced to? Oh, we played well for 8 to 10 minutes. Guys, the standards, man.
Joe.
But that's my issue.
Joe, you're going on like last season. We were with Champions League place or something like that. We were 16th, whatever it was last season.
But this is what I'm saying, Rio. Even then, I said Manchester United should not have been 15th. I don't understand why the standards are so low on the floor.
Look at the league table. That's why.
Do you know how mental you would sound if we came 15th and you're like, why aren't we winning the league this year?
I didn't say winning the league.
As you do.
I didn't say winning the league. I'm talking about standards. And do you know what? I saw the live you did yesterday.
Standard. I
saw the live you did yesterday, Rio, and you said if you was coach, you would make sure that everybody sees the first 8 to 10 minutes, and that's what you're focusing on. And I agree, you have to focus on the positives, but at the same time, these negatives as well, when are you going to address them? That's all I'm asking. You can't just show a team the first 8 to 10 minutes. And I know you're saying build on it. You go from there to 45 minutes. But
no, Joe, because I'm sure he's already shown them what he doesn't like. I'm just talking in isolation here. He's probably shown them 100 times, I don't like this. I don't like that. I need this. That amount of time we saw at the beginning of the game would encapsulate, I think, all the positives that Ruben Amorim wants. Pressing, intensity, in numbers, from a structure, and getting chances off the back of it. What you want to add to that is I want goals off the back of that now. So I think it's a positive reinforcement of the way that the team was set up. Can't be unlocked by the next 80 minutes that was there. You can't allow that to happen. You have to find, what I'm saying is find a way to create some positivity within this team to start building. And I think that's the job of the manager. It 100% is.
Speaking about positivity, how would you work with the goalkeeper and the defence to try to make yourself stronger when it comes to set pieces? Because you can call us Corner FC all day long, but you guys can't defend set pieces for nothing.
I'll take that one. How would I sort this goalkeeper out? I would take him to Manchester Airport and I'd stick him on the first budget flight out of here. Thank you.
Wow. Steve, you made a good save.
He's not good enough, man. Say it. You played in front of Edwin van der Sar. You can't look at Biscuit wrists in net there and think that he's anywhere near good enough. He nearly threw one in yesterday.
He needs to liven up. I know that, definitely.
That's Rio in broadcast mode.
I know that you are a player and you have an allegiance to you're in a fraternity that we won't understand, but we've got to talk about it, Rio, man. How are you improving the goalkeeper and the defence from corners?
Buying a new one.
No, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm getting him out on the pitch every day and smashing balls under the crossbar. I'll tell you that. He's got to get used to it. He's got to get used to contact. Work out a way. Make sure the referee's aware, by the way, there's going to be contact. Shout. Get him aware to look at you. So if there is any contact, like in today's game, you get the free kick. But I don't think he talks enough. He don't make the people aware of what's going on. And then his decision making in those moments, I think at the moment haven't been good enough. But I don't think he's seen enough of that. I don't think he's seen enough of balls. Declan Rice is whipping balls right on his nose yesterday. A couple of balls getting flashed across the goal. But again, he's not on his own, by the way, in lacking a bit of confidence, it seems.
He's not, but it has
to
improve.
Is it confidence or is it just ability? Because you can have the most confidence in the world. If you ain't got the ability, you ain't got the ability. And there is, outside of the fact that he's a two-footed goalkeeper that can play with his feet, what goalkeeping ability does he have?
He's a shot stopper, though. He's an okay shot stopper. I'll give him that.
So's a blackboard if you put it in net.
But listen, I agree. From set pieces, we look all over the place. So that needs to improve, and that has to happen immediately. Because you're looking at Arsenal, and we're having a laugh, and we're digging Arsenal out. But they've got over 30-something goals from set pieces. The next is on about 24. They're brilliant.
It's way less than that, I think. I think they're so far ahead. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, I've got to shoot because the RAC have just turned up. I need to go speak to them. But I'll leave you on this. I crucified Jack Grealish last week. I know you're in love with him. I'll give you the floor now to give him some praise, like you always do. Jack Grealish did all right yesterday, didn't he?
Yep. What happened, Joe?
Listen,
get your car recovered, by the way, Steve. Good luck with your car.
What happened? I got the floor. Listen, what happened with Jack Grealish is what I've been saying all along, people. Jack Grealish, the talented footballer, has not performed the way he should have done at Manchester City. People can talk about celebrations or what he does off the pitch. I'm not really here to talk about that. I'm talking about what I see on the pitch. And you know why I stand on that? Because you see him in Everton colours yesterday. The Everton blue. 2 assists. My man dribbling, doing what he's supposed to do, what he does. Falling in love with the game. When I tell Rio that he's not been performing at Man City, Rio's trying to find holes and say, oh no, but he did this and he was part of the build-up play. He wasn't good enough. Yesterday was the Jack Grealish that we know and that we knew at Aston Villa and even for England in Euro 2021 when he had his 10-minute cameos. And that's what we want to see.
Right, just to go back a bit. I have never said that he played as well as he did for City as he has for that he did for Villa. I never said that. I've always said he's playing a type of football that will be beneficial to the team and what Pep is asking him to play. Is there a better version of Jack Grealish? Yes. But would that make for a better result for Man City? Pep Guardiola obviously thinks no. Now he's gone to Man City and he's won trophies. He'll be happy. I still believe that when his career finishes, he'll say, you know what? I won things which I dreamed about, but my most enjoyable football was at Aston Villa because that's where he played best and he was free to play. And that's the key word. There was a freeness about the way he played, to be a maverick. Now, my wish is that he goes to Everton and he's allowed freedom. Now, we didn't see that at the weekend. He got 2 assists, which is great for him. One of them a great assist, smashed it across the box. The other one, just a 2-yard ball, passed it backwards and then it was smashed into the back of the net. But he still didn't play with freedom. He still didn't play with freeness in the game for Everton. So I just hope that there's a chance for him maybe to slot into that number 10 position behind the forward and give him that freedom and to be able to roam. That's where he was best when he was at Aston Villa. The ability to just turn up anywhere, not isolated on the wing, which he was still for Everton. And as well as he done, he was still isolated there. You watched the first goal that he set up. What did he do? What happened in that goal, Joel?
He ran down the wing and he crossed it in across the goal.
Yeah, what happened though? What happened when he was doing that? Who comes across? Because he's Jack Grealish and he's dangerous and he holds the ball. 2 players then come to him, frees up someone else. This is what his game's about.
But I'll tell you one thing though. Did you see his post-match interview? He spoke about being out of love with the game, or not and then he changed it. First of all, he used the word love, and then he changed it to enjoyment. But then he spoke about how his family said that he hasn't enjoyed the game, and then he looked and he said, that's probably my fault, actually. Dude, those performances, they've got to remain at that level. They do. He has the ability. Everybody knows he has the ability. No one once said that Jack Grealish isn't a good player. But for £100 million, what he produced at Man City, looking at the stats, even though you don't like the stats that I pulled up last week, Rio, it hasn't been good enough. And that's where I stand.
But £100 million, right? There's context to it. For £100 million, to some people's eyes, he hasn't played well enough and he hasn't delivered in terms of numbers. That's a good argument, yeah? But the way I look at it is are Man City, is Pep Guardiola content with the £100 million given the trophies that he won while Jack was there and Jack played a big part in a lot of those moments? I keep hearing this argument. Pep Guardiola, he stifles talent.
I think...
I keep hearing this.
Does he stifle talent? I don't agree, man.
Does he stifle flair? That's what I keep hearing.
I'm trying to think. Sometimes he does.
Who then?
Jack Grealish is one.
Yeah,
I think he's the main one, to be honest with you.
Sane was a flying winger at City. Mahrez, flying winger at City, scoring goals, assists. Sterling done mad numbers at City, scoring goals. Like, this argument that he stifles wingers is crazy. What about your boy, Eze? Eze in the building.
Rio.
You know what? Couldn't have come at a better time given the 2 injuries you lot have got. Yeah. Odegaard and Saka. We're hearing Saka's going to be out for 4 weeks now, they're saying. Yeah. Minimum. So, big signing.
Rio, I have to be honest with you, yeah. Like, I come up and sometimes I hype things up because it's I'm facing you and Steve, but I have to say, I don't think I've been so excited for a new signing in years, man. Like, I'm trying to think. The last time I was this excited was probably Ozil. And the way they did the rollout involving Ian Wright, I thought Sol Campbell was going to be involved, if I'm honest with you, because of the whole Spurs thing, but they got it just right with Ian Wright. And also the messages sent by Thierry Henry, you can see the excitement and the happiness, just the way he smiles when he walked out, he looked back at the crowd. And he's a player that is an example of, you might not like the team, but you like the player. Do you see what I mean? I think there's not a lot of fans out there that will say, oh, I dislike Eze. He is someone that everybody appreciates and they look at him and they go, he deserves that move. What a story. And hopefully he can step in now with Odegaard being out and Saka being out and show us why he's the number 10 for Arsenal.
Yeah, I loved the whole rollout of him coming, like you say, harking back to the history of the club with Wrighty. And I love all that type of stuff. Thierry on there talking as well. And I think he's one of those, like, he's a symbolic signing maybe. I think he could turn out to be a young black boy, was at Arsenal as a kid, had to go the long route to get back there, had loads of trials and tribulations, got back to the top now, and is at the club that he's always wanted to be at.
Yeah.
I just hope he goes out and produces, and I hope he's given a bit of time to go out there and produce, and I hope he hits the ground running from a lovely family and a kid obviously made of the right stuff. So you wish that kind of kid well. When they're made of the right stuff and they've had to go the long way round, they've been told no. Not once, not loads of times, no, you're not good enough. And by the way, when you see his videos as a kid playing, by the way, he was a madness as a kid. I don't even know he was told no by half of these clubs, because some of the stuff he was doing in training and in games, the footage is out there. Go and have a look at it. I don't know how it took him this long to get noticed. So I wish him all of the best. And I think he's, again, the planet, that it's all aligning for him, because there's 2 injuries to 2 of the most influential attacking players. There's going to be a responsibility now and expectations on him to go and deliver.
We have to talk about the 15-year-old Wonderkid. My man technically isn't in year 11 yet because school hasn't started, right? He's not 16 till December, Christmas Eve. It's the man himself who won the penalty as well. He ain't afraid of no one, Mr. Max Dowman. Rio, I'll let you have the floor.
Wow. Like this kid, I mean, it's not like people who know the youth game, know the academy game. Anyone who's got any idea or have ears or eyes knows of Max Dowman and the potential that he possesses. But I spoke about it earlier, about approaching games from a psychological standpoint. This kid between the ears, he just looks as good as it gets. He ain't phased. You know that he's been at Arsenal all these years, and the thought of playing in the first team, the thought of getting there, the conversations that are being had at home with his mum and dad, the expectation within his house of him, because they're so confident in him, but keeping him level-headed because he's from a good background, good stock. The expectation of everybody that watches him, that when's he going to make his debut? Not if, when. That's a pressure. But I had that. I don't think it was even to this extent, but I was like seen as a bit of a wonder kid as a young kid, expected to make my debut. Not at 15, bruv. That's the difference. I was 17. Like, I was out of school. I'd done a year in the youth team, everyday training at the club, around the pros. This kid's going to school. This kid's got homework that he ain't been able to do because he's going having to train and go to away games. He's got to travel with a team. Got to get like special letter and mum and dad writing to the headmistress and saying, listen, Max needs a couple of hours extra off a week, or he needs to have a day off for a couple of days because he's actually going training with the first team at Arsenal. These are mad things, like, for a kid to actually think about. So the difference between him is that what's between the ears is going to be so important. And I think the differentiator between the great young talents, we've got an interview dropping with Michael Owen soon. He talks about this brilliantly, about mindset. Wayne Rooney. You look at the kids like this now, like Lamine Yamal. They expect to be good enough. They feel I can transfer what I'm doing in the playground or with the youth team anywhere. Whereas players that are below that level, even if it's a smidgen below that level, are going, I better play my way in and just take it easy, feel my way into these games before I can start trying to do what I do there. These ones don't do that. It's like, listen, I'm going to be me and I'm going to be unapologetic about it, and you're going to love it and you're going to take it.
Could that be what separates him?
Yeah, 100%. I think if you think about it, there's a lot of kids with ability. There'll be kids on this planet that have got more ability than him, that could do more things with the ball, right? Be more outrageous maybe, be more explosive, have different parts of their game that they're better than him at. But a differentiator between being a player that can do those in moments and to being a player that can go and actually take the big stage and stay there and be consistent on the big stage at such a young age is what's in between here. That's the most important thing. That muscle, not on your legs, not on your feet, not anywhere else, but between your ears, your brain, will be what changes things. Because, as I said, you could go into them moments and come up and become all stiff. But when you've been in a youth team where there isn't as much pressure, where everyone expects you to be the man and you are the man and you're confident, I'm as good as these guys, I'm stronger, I'm easily, outrageously the best, it's easier. When you got the big seasoned pros on your back, that you know that if you make a mistake, could be a meme now, will be on social media, You will have a big centre-back, captain or midfield who's going to be shouting, pass it, give it back to me, don't try and take liberties. There's different pressures that are now there. Between there is what sorts that out. And he seems like he's got like a filing cabinet in there that he just goes at mad pace and just does it seamlessly.
Some AI brain, man. What were you doing at 15 years old, man? Like, I know that you were also a wonder kid. I know you play it down a little bit. You were called up to go with the England squad at 16 years old to see what the senior team was doing. But what were you doing at 15?
Brother, I was playing kiss chase, brother. Playing spin the bottle behind the back of the back of the school. Like, just so and so's offered you out. You got to go to the thingy and have a fight. Like, you're doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Getting in a tuck shop, trying to nick something out of the tuck shop. You're doing crazy stuff. You weren't thinking about playing Premier League football. I was hoping, my mantra that I lived by as a kid at that age was, if I can play 1 minute of professional football, I'll die a happy man.
Wow.
Didn't matter what level. It didn't. I weren't thinking Premier League. It was professional football. That could be Div 2. Don't care. I'll die a happy man. This man is looking at Division 2. He will never see Division 2, Division 1 or Championship. Do you know what I mean? He will never see that. He won't see Europa League. You know what I mean? So it's a very different way of thinking for this. If he continues in the vein of form and the trajectory that he's been on, the world is his oyster. And I think one of the things I saw Jamie Redknapp talking about him, and I'd like to reiterate that, he has a solid foundation of a family. His mum and dad seem like the right types of people. I think his dad's been involved in football. His dad takes counsel from select people, not jumping into anything. And the kid's just level-headed. As I said to you, I've got a company called Football Escapes that travels around the world at different resorts with loads of different legends of the game training young kids. He's been one of those kids on those training things. We've known about him for years. The kid wants to come and help and pick up the bibs and put cones out and be like, coach the younger ones. He's just football mad.
I just want to quickly bring it back to Gyökeres. I saw something that he did this game that he didn't do as much during the United game that you had actually picked out, running down the channels, running across and giving people a hard time on the shoulder. What did you see that you liked from him?
Well, the 2 games I've seen now of him, I think that's his best trait. His best trait is either running through, which is going to be difficult in most of the games, but I think away from home especially, he'll have opportunity to do it where he can run onto things. That's his best trait, because he's powerful, he's quick enough, and he can run through on things, and that's where he looks most confident. Or running down the channels, run down the sides, and he's now a different type of outlet for Arsenal. He gives you a different dimension that you haven't had. Before, Havertz wants the ball into feet. It's a different type of player. Whereas this guy, he can stretch the game, which will enable the likes of Odegaard when he's fit, Eze, even Declan when he's in there, in that little 8 to 10 spot area. If he's stretching the team and the defenders back, that creates that space. And Arsenal haven't been able to do that a lot with the number 9s that they've been playing over the last year or two. So he's definitely a different element for you guys. It's just about you guys utilising that. Now, what I see with Arsenal, you guys are good at utilising your strengths. Do you know what I mean? Set pieces, you've got aggressive players, great delivery. You utilise it and you're very good at it. Is Mikel Arteta going to see something in Gyökeres and go, that is now a different reference point for us. We're going to hone in that's different, that's going to help him, help us. And we're going to see what that is. Because if we start seeing these patterns of him always running in the channels, always getting the team up, stretching the opposition, then the 10s getting space to work their magic and getting chances off it, then you'll be saying, listen, I see now why he signed him, why he went all out for him.
Do you have any experience of strikers scoring either earlier on or late on after a move? And what value does that add to get an early goal, especially when there's so much pressure like on Victor Gyökeres?
Yeah, well, Wayne Rooney, they don't come much more pressurised than when he signed for Man United. It was worldwide news, record-breaking sign for a teenager. It was just like crazy. Comes in, Champions League, scores a hat-trick. Like, what that does for confidence. Now, listen, Wayne Rooney wasn't somebody that was ever lacking confidence. But I'll tell you what, don't matter who you are, if you go 3 or 4 games, big signing, number 9, you don't score, trust me, the confidence starts coming out, seeping out of you quickly. I was pleased with Gyökeres to get goals and start scoring early because, as I said, I actually want to see him do well. I want to see him produce and transfer that form from Portugal, where he's being questioned, into the Premier League.
I want to talk really quickly on Donnarumma. It looks as if he's going to be signing for City. How do you rate him when it comes to playing with the ball at his feet? What's your thoughts on him?
Well, he's not Ederson with the ball at his feet, but I tell you what he does do, he keeps the ball out of the net. I watched him multiple times in the Champions League last season, and at times he was outrageous. Big moments, big saves. And what I love about him is that he actually can be quiet in a game for a long time, and then all of a sudden, bang, you need a moment. Courtois is a bit similar in that respect. With Donnarumma, the only thing that goes against him in the modern game is that with his feet, he doesn't look as clean. And so like an Ederson looks night and day different and better than him with the ball at his feet. But I would say that Donnarumma is a better goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And if I was a defender, I'd want Donnarumma in my goal.
No, I agree in the fact that you can't doubt his, especially shot-stopping ability in the Champions League last season. I thought, wow, what's going on here? But what value do you put with the fact that he's only had one single error that's led to a goal in the last 2 seasons? That's like 50 games.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So what that tells you is he ain't great with his feet. Okay, that's okay. That's evident when you watch him. But he doesn't cost you goals. That's the difference. If someone's not good with their feet, right? Okay, he's not being able to set us up to play, which is a hindrance. But then his counter argument will be, well, how many goals do I cost you a season? Probably how many points do I get us with performances? That's what you've got to weigh up. And I'd be on the side of the fence where I'm saying he don't cost us goals. And he actually puts points on the board with his performances. So I'm taking him all day long.
Yeah. Well, the difference is this is the Premier League as well. As you know, PSG are a very dominant team in their league. So we'll see how it turns out, especially with Pep as well. Like I just think these players, I'm really eager to see how they work with Pep and his style, because we all know that he likes to play it from the back. If that's not his strength, how long will he last? I don't know. We will see. But Rio, I have to say it's been a great episode. One of my favorite episodes so far of all our time doing this. Yeah. But, thank you very much for not hiding. And, thank you very much for everyone joining the broadcast as well and checking out the interviews. Big interviews on this channel, man. We've been doing post-match lives as well. We are feeding the audience, Rio. Ain't that right?
Yep, 100%. We are here live and direct. Like I said, man, you might have not heard, but you got to hear now. I'm in Dubai now, but there's more content coming out than ever. We're traveling worldwide. We're out of the studio into your front room. Let's go.
Everybody watching, if you haven't done so already, join the Rio Ferdinand Presents broadcast channel on Instagram. We will be giving away the Embuemo shirt, but you have to be joined to that broadcast group to have a chance of winning. Ain't that right, Rio?
Yep, make sure you do it, man. There's a video of him signing that shirt. That exact shirt is there, up for grabs. Competition time. Join. Do not be left behind, guys.
Yeah, and don't forget, Rio's dropping voice notes in that group chat as well, so it gets nice and personal and stuff like that during games and everything, so you don't want to miss out. It's going to be hilarious. Stay tuned. Peace.